Hey students, in the last video we created a template file. In this video we're going to put our drawings into the template and select the best front view and then get the rest of our views projected in there. All right, so I'm still on the animation workspace. I'm going to go to change workspace and I'm going to create a drawing from my design. So I'm going to click on from design. That's going to open up a menu over here. And for contents, I'm going to go to select because I don't want to put the whole puzzle cube in. I want to dimension each part individually first. Okay, and then right here it says component. You can see my blue selection button is depressed, so I'm going to pick my red component. That highlights it. You're going to end up doing this one time for each component in your puzzle cube. Okay? So for our drawing, we're going to use create new for this one. And then for our template, we're going to pick our Spartan Manufacturing drawing template. Like I said, I've been in here and done some practice work with this. If your Spartan Manufacturing drawing template doesn't show up, you may have to click the browse button, go to your template project, and then pick this template here. Right? Mine's already showing up, so I'm just going to go with that. All right, so I like what I've got. I'm going to click on OK. And you can see this Spartan Manufacturing drawing sheet that we downloaded in the previous video shows up on our screen here. And because of the way that the template was set up, it's going to import the material that you've assigned to this part. It's going to import the name associated with your Fusion account. It's going to even set up the date, right? I'm kind of curious why it says 1023 here, but down here it says 1022. I may have to do a little digging into that. All right, so we've got a blank sheet though. We don't have anything in here yet. So we're going to click on base view now. All right, and you can see my base view, even though I picked just the red part, is showing up as all these parts. So I'm going to come over here to representation. I'm going to come over here to reference, and if I change it to assembled puzzle cube V3, you can see now I've just got that red piece. Okay? Now, the next thing we need to do is kind of think back to a lesson a few weeks ago where we talked about the guidelines for picking the best front view. We want our best front view, remember, to show good contour. Right? Ideally, it would have very few hidden lines. Right? It should lend itself to a nice top and nice right side view as well. And when I say nice, I mean like if we could avoid hidden lines in the right side view or in the top view by strategically placing the front view in a certain location, that would be good. It should be in its either most stable position or its kind of natural position of use. And ideally, it would have the longest axes running left to right when we pick our front view. Now, that was a pretty big list. If you're like, what did you just say, Mr. Coleman? You can always stop this video, go back and check out that PowerPoint from Multi-View Drawings. It's got the guidelines listed in it. Okay. So the way I've got this one positioned right now, I lucked out. This is a good front view for it. If what you're looking at on your screen when you hit that base button and you bring in your puzzle cube part isn't the best front view, you may have to come to orientation over here, right? And maybe the one that you picked for your front when you designed it really isn't the best front view. So you can change these views out. You can go to bottom, you can go to left, right. You know, keep clicking through them until you find what you think would be the best front view. Right? And like I said, in my part that I've got here, it just so happens that the front view is the best front view. And once we got the best front view picked, then we need to make it fill up this sheet of paper. Right? And we do that by adjusting the scale. There's certain times we need to give people information about really large things that won't fit on a sheet of paper. Or really small things that we wouldn't be able to give any detail about if we drew them out to real life size. Right? So to do that on a sheet of paper, we use a thing called scale, where we put our object in at a proportional size. Right? Right now, my scale is 1 to 2, which means this is half the size it would be in real life. It would take 2 of these end to end to equal the size of 1 in real life. I'm going to switch this up to a 1 scale. And you can see my part gets a little bit bigger. For this project, we're going to put all of our parts in at a 1-to-1 scale. Right, but as we do more complex shapes, we may have to adjust that scale. All right. And now we're to the exciting part. We're going to stop talking about it and we're going to finally click down in this lower left-hand corner here to place our base view. If we like what we've got, and I do, right, I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. Right now, I need to take and I'm going to project from my base view. So I went to the project button and I clicked it. I'm going to click on my base view. I'm going to drag up a top view. And I'm going to come over here and drag out a right side view. And then I'm going to drag up an isometric view. Okay. I like what I got there again, so I'm going to go ahead and click enter. Right now, typically this isometric view that I'm hovering over with my mouse would be shaded in to kind of call some attention to the fact that it's not a 2D drawing. It's not necessarily part of our orthographic projection. It's its own thing. And so I'm going to double click on this one. This menu pops back up. And I'm going to do two things. Under Appearance, I'm going to click the Shaded button. It's going to shade it in. And then I'm going to change this scale so it's different than my other views. Right? So in this case, I'm going to change it to a 1.5 scale. And it's going to get a little bit bigger than all my other ones. It's almost touching the borderline here. We'll fix that in just a second. Again, I'm looking at what I've got on my screen. It looks good to me, so I'm going to click Close. And now if I just click and hold down with my mouse, I can drag this so it fits inside of my lines. All right, so that is the basics of putting one drawing part into our drawing files. We're going to pick it up in the next video where we start putting some dimension lines on here to give information about this object size.